you are well. I hope your market sell. Every day I dey pray for you. Make you Baba, God bless you. I never forget you. I gon' forget you. See my shoulder, make you rest up on me. You know I got you. Now me be your friend indeed. The money don't show now. I don't keep some for you. You know go so far. Cause anything I get now for me and you. Yeah. How are you, my friend? How do you do, my friend? I know sometimes it feel like say nobody sent you. That's one lie I did for you, my friend. Oh, Remy, da. You always stay in my mind. Padi me gone. I cherish you with my life. Don't worry yourself, oh. Everything go day alright. And if anybody try you, you know it's gonna be on sight. See my shoulder, make you rest up on me. You know I got you. Let me be your friend indeed. I'm on the money don't show now. I don't keep some for you. You know go so far. Cause anything I get now for me and you. I know that I don't text enough, but you're always on my mind.
Good evening, everyone. You're welcome. I'm so glad to have every one of you here on this call today. And I believe we have a lot to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. And trust me, by the time we're done, you will be able to action, the things we mentioned on this call today. You will be able to go out there and begin to make necessary adjustments so that you can begin to indeed get yourself ready to date. I think over 100 of us registered, so I'm still expecting so much more to join. Yeah, thank you so much, Eniola. Your hands are raised. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Cassie, for joining. I just want us to do something before we start. Let's just go into the chat and tell us where you're joining from, your name and where you're joining from. So I'm Ayo, joining from Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria. So please, let's just go into the chat. Let's know where you're joining from. We really want to welcome you tonight. Yes, this is Faith joining from UK. Thank you, Faith. From UK, Tosin from Nigeria. You're welcome. Thank you, Regina from the US. Wow, welcome. Temitope from Nigeria. Amazing. Wow. So glad to have you all. Shemilore from Canada. Thank you. Omowumi from Maryland, Lagos. CJ from Nigeria. Thank you, Toyin from Nigeria. Emeka Ben joining from Lagos, Nigeria. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Let's keep it coming. Let's Patience from Akwa Ibom, Oron. Wow. Welcome, welcome. Ifeoluwa from Fade, Rekia from Nigeria. Good, so glad to have everyone on the call tonight. Thank you all. Maybe morning at your end or afternoon. Yes, whatever the time zone you're on. Thank you so much for joining. Monica from Cross River. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Another thing I want us to do is to also go into the chat and just let me, have an idea of your expectation. What do you want to take out of this webinar tonight? What do you want to take out of the webinar? Just go into the chat and just let me know. This is what I'm looking at. Oyewole and Yola from Ogba, thank you for joining. Thank you so much, everyone. So what are your expectations tonight? I really, really, really want to know what your expectation is. Oh, someone is saying she can't hear what I'm saying. Oh, really? Are you the only one? Can you hear me? I need to increase my volume.
I can hear you, Ma.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear, okay. Okay, so maybe the person who can hear me needs to do something to his or her device. Okay. Okay, someone says, all I need to know before I go into a relationship with any guy. Okay, thank you so much, Temitope. Let's hear what our expectations are. Let's go into the chat. Let me hear you. Let me feel your pulse this evening. Yes, yes. Okay, yes. Some of me can hear me perfectly. Thank you so much. How do I know it is the right person? Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. How do I know? How do I know? Okay, to have a good knowledge of relationship and what it entails. Great. Thank you. Let me still have more thoughts in the chats. Let me have more thoughts in the chats. I'm waiting and waiting. And if you have not introduced yourself, please do so as well. Your name and where you're joining from. We really, really want to, welcome you. And just Boluwatife Amosu says, hoping to learn more about relationships and before going into it. Tamara from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you, Tamara, for joining. Thank you so very much for joining. Okay, great. So I don't waste so much of your time. It's Saturday evening. I know some of us want to, quickly wrap up the evening, rest in good time, and then prepare for the new week ahead. So we'll go straight. How to handle conflicts. Okay, Gina from Lagos, thank you. How to handle conflicts. Okay, so we are going to go right into what we have tonight. And I'm very, very hopeful that we will all be able to, our expectations will be met and exceeded at the end of tonight's webinar. There'll be opportunity for you to ask a question, and we'll take it from there. So for the sake of those who do not know who I am, my name is Ayo Lawrence, and I call myself, and my tribe also call me, the Queen of Premium Family Life Practice. So I work with married individuals, I work with intending couples, I work with people who are about going into, dating relationships. I work with individuals, and I also work with organizations supporting their employees. So in my organization, L Cubed International Limited, these are the things we do, to support individuals on their journey to clarity and bliss. I see myself as a highly efficient people and systems organizer, solving complex problems that deliver both personal and organizational bliss. So that's me in a nutshell. And thank you so much for all who have introduced themselves as well. Thank you so much. I'm Ayo Lawrence, and I'm so glad to have you on this free webinar tonight. So before we go into anything, there are a few questions I have for you tonight. And I would like you to also go into the chat to give me your response. So the first question I have for you, the first question I have for Patience, I have for Arid, I have for Boluwatife, I have for Deji Showumi is, who are you? Because that's where we need to start from. Before you can talk about, oh, I'm going into a dating relationship, or I'm going into a courtship relationship, whatever it is, you need to know who you are. So I'm posing a question to all of us on this call tonight. Who are you? I'd like you to just, just pause for a bit and think, who exactly am I? Who exactly am I? Who am I? Who am I? And if you're bold enough, you can go into the chat and just share with us who you are. Just go into the chat and just share with us who you are, who you think you are. Just share in the chat. Let's get this place, bubbly. Into the chat, let's hear you, who you are. And while you're, thinking about that, there's another question I have for you. What does life and love mean to you? So when you hear life, what does it mean to you? When you hear love, what comes to your mind? And if you don't want to chat, maybe you want to just raise your hands and unmute yourself and let us know the answer to these questions. Who you are, what does life and love mean to you, and what is your purpose for living? These are 3 questions I want us to, start with. These are 3 questions I want us to start with. So if you want to, unmute yourself and speak, go ahead. If you want to go into the chat and just give us a response, we'll really be glad. So let me just see what we have in the chat. Faith says, when I hear love and life, I hear purpose, adventure, and commitment. Thank you so much, Faith. Okay, who else wants to speak to me? I think I will. Who else wants to speak to me? Okay, let me see. Okay, Patience says she's patient, she's great and beautiful. She's the best and deserves nothing but the best. Thank you so much, Patience. Okay, we are getting to meet all of us, So not to waste too much of your time, I want you to screen grab this question and think on them. Take them away from here and think and make sure you supply answers to these questions. You keep drilling deep until you get to that point wherein you are sure and you are happy with the answer you have provided. So I'd like to say that the answer you provide under the who you are is as a result of the belief you have about yourself. So whatever you believe about yourself comes under who you are. Whatever you believe about life and love comes under what does life and love mean to you. So it is very important that we watch out for our beliefs. And that takes us to our next slide. Your beliefs are convictions that you have held to be true in life, and they form the boundary of the condition of your thinking. Your beliefs to a large extent drive your behavior and your results. So whatever you believe about yourself, whatever you believe about life, whatever you believe about love, to a large extent drives your result. Drives your behavior rather, and then the result you get at the end of the day. So what do you believe about yourself? For all of us on this call tonight, what do we believe about ourselves? What do we believe about ourselves? What do we believe about love? What do we believe about life? What do we believe about dating? What do we believe about marriage? What do we believe about success? What do we even believe about God? What do we even believe about people? Some people believe that people are meant to be used. Some people believe that marriage is, is something that, when you go into it, you cannot really predict the outcome, as it were, because they've not put systems in place. Some people believe that, marriage comes with pain. Marriage comes with so much stress, as it were, because of the things they've seen in the lives of other people, because of the marriages that they've seen, because of the way people around them talk about marriage. So what do you believe? And it's important you ask yourself, where did I get this belief from? Because you as a person, you are a meaning-making machine. So whatever you believe becomes, your reality, because you begin to live your life in such a way that it points in the direction of your belief, and it gives you that result at the end of the day. So there's one thing I always love doing when I'm having sessions like this and I'm having to talk about beliefs. I want to believe you can see me. I want to believe you can see me. I want to believe you can see me. So when I do this, what comes to mind? Please, feel free to unmute. When I do this, what do you see? I think Eniola is trying to
see 5 fingers.
5, okay. Who else is talking? What else can you see?
Stop.
Stop, okay. What else can you see? Someone has seen 5, someone has seen stop. What else can you see? I can see bless you. What else can you see? Let's talk. Okay, I think some people are speaking in the chat. Let me see what. 5 fingers, high 5. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so some people can even see maybe waka. For those of us who are from Nigeria, we know what waka is. When I do this, waka. Aha. So there are so many meanings we can put to this. And that was why I said we are all meaning-making machines. And that is why it is important we mind the things that we believe. Because whatever we believe becomes our reality. Whatever we believe becomes our reality at the end of the day. So we are talking about all we need to know about dating, and I've decided to make the definition very simple. Dating is the process of getting to know someone and may or may not lead to a deeper relationship. So it's just a process of getting to know someone. You want to know this person. I found out that, quite a number of people years before now, maybe 20 years, 25 years, before they got married, quite a number of them did not really date, especially those who are in the religious circle. So the brother just shows up, God said, and the sister says, okay, yes, God said, and goes ahead with the relationship. But we've come to realize that it is important that to a large extent you date. Get to know this person. Get to know the person you are thinking of spending the rest of your life with. So dating is a process of getting to know someone, which may or may not lead to a relationship. And this leads us to all I need to know before dating, which is the reason why we are here tonight. All I need to know before dating. The first thing you need to know is self-reflection. How many of us do really understand ourselves? How many of us do really know why some things are happening to us? A lot of us don't know. So the first thing that would help you to be able to kick off a fantastic dating relationship is, first of all, to understand yourself. Who am I? Who am I? And when we are talking about you knowing yourself, we are talking about you getting to know your personality, the strength of your personality, the areas, of improvement that you need to work on in your personality. A lot of us find out that, oh, we are just moody, and we have not really sat down to understand, why am I like this? Some of us, we are, the happy-go-lucky. You give 10 people appointments, you won't show up for any. You've not really sat down to say, who exactly am I? Why do I do things the way I do things? Why do I handle things the way I handle things? It's very, very important you understand yourself, you know yourself, and you understand yourself. It's important you know you have a vision for your life. And what is vision? Vision is that future that you see, that preferred future that you see. Do you even as a person have a vision for your life? Because if you don't have a vision for your life, if anybody just comes your way, you will agree to go with that person because you yourself, you don't even know where you're going. So you need to have a vision for your life. What are your values? What are those ideals that pertain to you? To some people, it is integrity. It can be fun. It can be excellence. It can be love. It can be friendship. Whatever it is, you need to have your own personal values such that when someone comes to you, just as a friend, you can be able to seek out that person's value and see, are we in alignment? Are we in alignment? It's important as well for you to do a self-reflection to know, what exactly am I looking for in a partner? What is it exactly that I want in a partner? Because if you haven't highlighted that, when someone comes your way and says, oh, let me be your friend, you will just agree with every Dick and Harry. But if you know exactly what you want in a partner as a result of your self-reflection, when the person comes, you will be able to say, oh, yes, let me give this person an opportunity. Let me work with this person and see how we can, take this relationship further. If, we need to go further. Why do you want to date? Very important. Why do you want to date? Is it because every other person is dating? Is it because you think you are old enough to date? Or is it because you know that you want to go into a relationship that can be considered for a long term? So you need to have your why. And I always tell people that this why is very important in every area of your life, not just even for dating. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I on this job? Why have I chosen even to speak to people who are about going into dating? I had to ask myself that question, and I have my reason for doing this. Because I know a lot of people go into relationships and they get themselves, their fingers burnt in the process. And I wouldn't want people to get into a relationship without really knowing the things they need to put into consideration before going into any dating relationship. So that's my own why, to help people to reduce the number of heartbreaks that we have amongst people who are in dating relationships. You need to be able to know what your needs are. You need to be able to know what your interests are. You need to be able to know your boundaries. I'll speak much more on this even as we go on. It's important. You have to be able to have all these things in place first before you go into any dating relationship. If you don't know you are not permitted to go into a dating relationship, because if you do, you're going to make a shipwreck of that relationship. You're going to be demanding so much from the person. You're going to be putting pressure on the other party because you as an individual haven't gotten to know yourself. I talked about vision, that preferred future that you see. And I always encourage, have a vision board for every area of your life. Have a vision board, your finances, your family, your business, if you're into business, your career, your spiritual walk, exercise, your investments, the places you want to go. Put everything down. Because what you put down, what you see often, you can be sure that you're going to lay hold on it. So it's important that you have your vision board. I just said, let me, zero in onto this. It's a lot for one to get into, do your vision board. You need to be able to highlight your goals. You need to be able to put in place the things you need to do to ensure you carry out your goals at the end of the day, So it's important you have your vision board in place. Then you need to check whether you are compatible. And that was why when I was kicking off, I said, look out for shared values. And you can only look out for shared values if you already know. And that was why I said in the beginning that you need to do self-reflection first. Because if you don't know the values that are yours, you don't know your interests, you don't know your own goals, it's impossible for you to be able to look out for it. So it is very, very important that you look out for shared values. What are the things that we share when it comes to money? Do we have the same values as regards money? Is this person the kind of person that is impulsive? Anything that comes to mind, I buy? Or is this person someone that budgets, that thinks ahead before he or she spends? These are the things you need to have at the back of your mind. Your interest, what interests you? What interests this person? You need to be able to ascertain that, okay, you have things in common. And even with this at the back of your mind, you need to also know that if you have differences, it can also be enriching. So far, the two of you respect each other and you have understanding. So you need to look out for shared values, look out for shared interests and goals, and be able to align all these things so that at the end of the day, you can be able to say, okay, this person is going in this direction that I'm going. And I think it will be great for us to work together as a team. And like I said, your differences can also be enriching as long as you both respect and understand each other. Yes. All I need to know before dating. How many books have we read on relationships? Very important. How many books? Do we listen to podcasts on relationships? How well have you developed yourself personally? How well? And even if you've read books, have you applied what you've read? Have you applied what you've read? Very important. At the beginning, I mentioned about personality. This is very huge. You need to know your personality and the strengths that come with that personality. Because we know that if you are in touch with yourself, you know your areas of improvement, you know your tendencies, it's going to help you in the relationship you're going into. So we have, 4 major personalities that we work with when we are having to do assessment for people. We have what we call the intimidating Oma. We have the creative convertible. We have the dependable truck, and we have the systematic Ford. So what we decided to do is to, make use of these personalities and compare them with different kinds of vehicles. So we have the intimidating Hummer, and I know a lot of us, we know the way the Hummer stands, it comes, is intimidating. When you see a Hummer, you know that there's a car here, heavy, sturdy, it's just there. When you see a convertible, flashy with the, the doors opening up, the roof can open up, all manner of things happen with the convertible. And people with the creative convertible personality, they are, the people that are the life of the party, they are all over the place, they like anything flashy and all. The intimidating Omans are the people, who have dogged leadership traits. They are very, very blunt. They give it to you the way it is. They let you, when they want something done, they want it done now, and we have the dependable trucks. A truck is slow and steady, no problem. It will get to its destination without stress. So the dependable trucks are the ones, that don't like confrontation. They are just, they just want things done in a particular way. Security is a watchword for them. They don't want you to just ruffle them. They don't want you to just confront them anyhow. Those are the dependable trucks. Then we have the systematic Ford. These ones are the analytic ones. They have perfectionist tendencies. The dependable truck that I mentioned the other time, they are diplomatic. So even if they are not happy about something, there's a way they will try to give it to you in such a way that, it won't really hurt you, Those are the dependable trucks. Then the systematic Ford, that's the last one. These ones, they're very analytic. They are very, everything has to be done well. If they keep a cup somewhere, they want it there. They want to come back there and meet the cup there. If you move it a little bit, just make sure you bring it back. So if you are aware of all these things, by the time you are looking at getting into a dating relationship, you already know yourself. You already know your tendencies. You're already aware of your strength, and you're aware of your areas of improvement. When you're getting into a relationship, you will be able to get into it with that understanding, such that if the person, that you are dating is different from you, you can pick it. And if this person hasn't even found himself or herself, you can actually let the person know, you know what, it's important you know who you are. It's important you know what your personality is, what the strength of your personality is, and the areas of improvement. Your love language as well, very important. These are things that are fundamental. How do you want to be shown love? We have 5 of them. We have acts of service, we have words of affirmation, we have physical touch, we have acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time. And the 5th one has just flown out of my head now. Let me come again. Words of affirmation. Receiving of gifts. Yes, some of us love gifts. So for words of affirmation, you just want, you want to be appreciated for what you've done with words. Oh, well done. Your hair is nice. Great job. That's your, if that's it, that's your love language. Oh, you love gifts. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be, a gigantic one, but the heart with which the gifts, the thought behind the gift, not necessarily the size matters to you, so those are people whose love language are receiving of gifts. Then for physical touch, you are the ones that love the hugs, the cuddles and all. That's for you. You are the one that when you're having conversation with people, you're always touching. You're always touching. You're always touching. Then quality time, you want whoever is in conversation with you at that point in time to give you undivided attention. So the phones are off, all the gadgets are not functional at that time. The person is just giving, that undivided attention. So these are the love languages. It's important that you know. It's important that you know. Then what communication and negotiation skills have you developed? Very important. Because when you are in a dating relationship, you will definitely negotiate. There are some things you want done. There's some things you want done in a particular way. You must be able to develop the skills, negotiation skills. You must be able to develop communication skills. And I tell people that communication is not just about words, your body language, the tone of your voice. I can say, thank you. And I can say, thank you. The tone of my voice has defined what I mean by my thank you. Even the way I'm doing my head and shaking my head too is letting you know, what is going on in my mind as regards to thank you. So if I say, oh, thank you so much, thank you. And I said, thank you. It's different. So communication is huge in relationship. And we've come to realize that it takes about 85%, in any relationship. So you are talking, you're making, gesticulations, the tone of your voice, all these things are coming together. Then you need to ask yourself, am I the type, even with my day-to-day relationship with people, do I always want to win? Or I rather want to do what is right than be right? So even with your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your sibling, what is your disposition? Are you the type that always want to win? You always want to have the last say? Or you are the one that wants, to do that which is right than to be right? These are okay. These are the things that you need to have at the back of your mind, when you're about going into any dating relationship. Very, very important. Then communication. Let me, sit a little more on this. Communication is very important in a relationship. So before you even get into a dating relationship, with your day-to-day friends, family, have you learned to express yourself honestly? Can people say that there's an alignment between your words and your thoughts? Can people say that what you have said, indeed it is? And are you someone that listens actively as well? Very important. Do you listen actively? And are you able to honestly express yourself? If you say that this is what is going on in my mind, people can say, indeed, this is what is going on in Ayo's mind. Ayo has told me what exactly is going on with her. And you need to know that when there is good communication, it builds trust and it fosters deeper connection. So if you are in just day-to-day relationship with people and you're finding it difficult to express yourself honestly, and you are not listening actively, there's going to be a huge challenge when you are in a dating relationship. Then we talked about conflicts. You must be able to resolve conflicts. Very, very important. You must be able to resolve conflicts. You must be able to know who you are, even in the face of conflict. We have people who withdraw in the face of conflict, and we have people, who are happy, so to speak, fighters in the face of conflicts. People that will want to go all out, I'll give it back to you. And like I said, do you want to be right or you want to do right? Very important. do you want to be right, or you want, to do right? It's important that you know that when there is a conflict, don't fight dirty, because the conflict will end, but the impact of the things you have done to each other, the impact of the words you have spoken to each other lingers. So you need to learn, excuse me, to be able to understand yourself when it comes to conflict. If you notice what I've been talking about is us, is you. Because it's all you need to know before going into any dating relationship. What do you need to know? So it's important you are the type of person that is great at, resolving conflict first. And then when it comes to tendering apologies, you must be the type that "I'm sorry" is not too big for your mouth. Permit me to say it that way. Because there are some people, no matter what, they won't say sorry. They will just keep, going like this, like this, like this. And God help you. If the person you are in a dating relationship with is the type whose language of apology is you saying you're sorry, because we have different languages of apology. We have about 5 of them. And there are some, some people would want you to say you're sorry. Some people will want you to say you're sorry and you let them know you won't do it again. Some people will want you to say you're sorry and, you go the step further and tell them, okay, I'm sorry for doing a particular thing. Can you please mute yourself? I think I'm hearing someone. Regina? Yes, okay. So there are different languages of apologies. So it is very important that you are great at resolving conflicts one-on-one first with your brother, with your sister, because it won't change. If you're the type that keeps malice, if you're the one that keeps grudges, if you're the type that finds it difficult to forgive, when you get into marriage, it will not change. When you start dating, it will not change. When you start courting, it won't change. So it is when you are still an individual, a single person, that you can deal with all these things. So that by the time you get into a dating relationship, it is just smooth sailing. So how good are you with conflict resolution with your day-to-day friends? How good are you with tendering apologies? Very, very important. Then I'll move on to expectation management. When I expect something from, let's say, Todunke now. If I'm not careful, definitely I'll begin to make demands of her. And if Todunke is unable to meet my expectation, I'll be disappointed. And if I'm disappointed, I'll begin to blame. So for this to not happen, you need to be able to manage your expectation. You need to be able to say, you know what, yes, in as much as I desire this, let me not put so much pressure on this person. And like I said, all these things start from even your day-to-day relationship with your parents, with your siblings, before you now begin to say, okay, someone you want to get into a dating relationship with. So you need to be able to manage your expectations so that you are not the type that is nagging, that is always complaining, that is always saying this person is not doing this person is not doing that. No. Manage your expectation so that you don't put unnecessary demands on the people in your life and you don't become disappointed and now begin to play the blame game. And another thing is, how ready are you emotionally? How ready are you emotionally? Are you the type that, your mood is always swinging up and down? And this, I talked about the personality, you knowing your personality. This will also help, because if you're the type that is high on maybe systematic fraud, you are the type that, can be gloomy, melancholic, and all. So if you know that you have that tendency, you will begin to work on yourself even before you get into any relationship. So how ready are you emotionally? Do you have any baggage from when you're young? Do you have any unresolved issues that you know can affect your dating journey? You need to deal with it. Some of us, where we grew up, the environment, that we're surrounded with, and the significant emotional experiences we had while growing up have made us to have baggages. And this must be dealt with. This must be dealt with. You must be able to deal with anything that you know is not helping you to be the best that you have been created to be. So you must be able to self-regulate. You must be someone who is balanced. You must be someone who is grounded. You must be someone who is centered, because life will definitely throw things at you. There are things that whoever you're in a dating relationship with will do to you that will throw you off balance. So if you're not emotionally, steady, you'll find yourself not being able to cope with the pressures that come with, dating or having someone else in your life. Let me check the chat. I think I have a few things here. Okay. Okay. Then we have consistency. So as an individual, how consistent are you? Because it's about you. Don't forget, all we are talking about tonight is about you. We're not talking about the other party. Because consistency is important in building trust. So if you are the one that says, oh, I'll see you at 7 o'clock, and everybody is there at 7 o'clock, and you're just coming in at 9, you didn't even let them know, what's happening with you or what's up with you. You just show up, and that's the way you live your life. It's going to affect whatever relationship you find yourself in. So you must be reliable. You must be someone who keeps commitments. You must be someone who show up consistently in your words and in your action. So you are not the type that is saying I'm coming and is going. You are the type that people can, take your word to the bank. If you say it is good morning, people will not have to say, let us check outside if it is indeed morning. Really, really, before we say favor, it's indeed good morning, before we respond. So how consistent are you as an individual? Very, very important. How consistent are you? How consistent are you? These are the things you need to note before you get into a dating relationship. So if you are the type that cannot be trusted, if you are the type that cannot, that doesn't have integrity as regards to your words, you need to deal with it. It won't change when you get into a dating relationship, and it will not be nice for you to be taking whoever you are, going into a relationship with through unnecessary heartache. So the next thing is boundaries. Boundaries. You must have mastered how to establish personal boundaries. What are the things that can pass for you, and what are the things that can't pass? What are the things you are comfortable with? And you must be able to communicate these boundaries. And when the other party is telling you, these are my boundaries, you must be able to reciprocate that. And like I said, it starts with your relationship, even with your day-to-day friends, your siblings, your parents, and all. Boundaries, very important, because if you don't have boundaries, personally, when you get into a dating relationship, it's going to be difficult for you to put boundaries in place because you've not, groomed yourself to work with boundaries. What are the things you want to say about yourself? How much of yourself, do you want people outside to know about you? How much? How much of yourself do you want people to have access to? How do you want people to relate with you, to talk to you? It's important you know, so that when you get into a dating relationship, you can be able to let the person know. You can be the type that say, you know what, I'm not so much of a social media person. I don't want to put so much of myself on social media. This is me. It can be between the two of us. We can share as much as we want between the two of us, but don't let's put our life on social media. That's your own personal boundary. And you already know. So when you get into a relationship, you can communicate it with the person. And the person will be able to know, oh, this is this person. This is who she is. This is who he is. And I need to be able to, work with this person based on what he or she has told me. And if you find out that the person isn't, respecting your boundary, then you can make an informed decision as regards that. So boundaries, very, very, very important. You master your own personal boundary before you get into any dating relationship. Self-care. And I want to ask this question: do you love you? A lot of people don't love themselves. We can do everything for other people except ourselves. Except ourselves. It's important that you love yourself. And the truth is, if you don't really love yourself and you're doing something for other people, you find out that at some point you will want them to reciprocate it back to you. So you hear things like, with all that I've been doing for you all this while, is this what you want to do? If you really love, you do without expecting anything in return. That is love. But when you begin to say, I did this 10 years ago, I did this 5 years ago, you are not really, really showing love. And it is as a result of the fact that you don't love yourself. If you love yourself and you do everything from a place of love, you will not need to recount all the good you have done for people. So it's important, prioritize self-care. Don't allow yourself to be burnt out. Take time to socialize, take time to, engage in deep breathing, take time to meditate, take time to rest, take time to exercise, take time to feed well, engage in activities that you enjoy. You can go to the spa for some massage. You can, take yourself out on a lunch date, just you. You don't have to go on lunch dates with people. You can decide to, today I just want to take myself out. Nurture your own well-being. Very important. If you've developed yourself to taking care of yourself, by the time you get into a dating relationship, you find out that you are balanced. You are just complimenting the other party, and you are not allowing your dating relationship to consume it, because you have already established a routine to taking care of yourself. So it is important you do that. Then be open-minded. If you are the type that is rigid, it is only your way that gets to the market, you're going to have a huge challenge when you get into a dating relationship. Be willing to learn, be willing to grow, be willing to take on new ideas, be willing to ask questions, be open to exploring new perspectives. It is not only, your way. Some people say it's either my way or the highway. It is not only your way. You should be able to explore new perspectives. And there are some personalities that are very, very prone, not to really taking other people's perspectives. So if you find yourself to be an intimidating Oma, most of the time, it's tough for you to hear what other people have to say. So you need to learn patience. You need to learn patience so that you can hear other people and hear other people's perspective. If you are open-minded, it helps you to be able to, forge exciting connections. And at the end of the day, you personally grow. You'll be able to look back, wow, see how far I've come. It wasn't the same me 3 years ago, that is now here. I can now listen to people. And I'd like to say something at this point in time. I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine, and she said something. She said, always listen for insight and not necessarily for agreement, so that you do not become quarrelsome. I want you to note that. Always listen for insight. So when you are in a gathering, because you are open-minded, you are listening for insight and not necessarily to agree with the people. Because if you're always seeking to agree with people, at the end of the day, you find yourself, having to fight with this person, because people will not always agree with you, and you won't always agree with people anyway. But if you have it at the back of your mind that you're seeking for insight and not necessarily for agreement, then you live a peaceful life. So it is important that you're willing to learn, you're willing to relearn, to unlearn, and to grow. You're willing to explore new perspectives. You're willing to ask questions. Excuse me. You're willing to, share what you know with people, so that you can even hear what they also, have to say in return. And you're not, pulling anyone down, because everybody's entitled to his or her own opinion, but yours is to seek insight and pick that which will, promote your peace and your progress at the end of the day. And I'd like to say, enjoy your life. On your way to getting into a dating relationship, enjoy your life. Be fun-loving. Seek opportunities to meet with people. Go out, socialize, create memorable experiences. Ensure you get yourself into meaningful connections. Very, very important. And I'd like to say that embrace the journey of life. And when we are going through life, so many things happen. The good, the bad, the ugly. But the thing is, even as you're going through that, tell yourself, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to engage in, should I, would I, could I? No. I'm going to learn from every experience, and I'm going to savor every moment as I go along, my way in life. So make up your mind to enjoy life. I tell people, live, love, and laugh. And the amazing thing is, these three things are what constitutes our mental health: living, loving, and laughing. So you need to ensure that you enjoy life. You need to ensure that even as you go through life, you are seeking out fun, and you're always reminding yourself that that everything is working together for my good. Life is working, for me. Things are working together for my good. Always remind yourself. Always remind yourself of that. And I would like to say that you need to own your happiness. Some people will say, I want to go into a dating relationship so that the person can make me happy. No. Own your happiness. If you're unhappy before getting into a dating relationship, you will stay unhappy. If you're not even careful, you will be much more unhappy. The quotient of your unhappiness will increase, because now we have two people in that now involved in that relationship. So you need to take charge of your life. Actively choose to prioritize your well-being and your fulfillment. Own your happiness. What are those things that you engage in that gives you, that fills you, that gives you that, that life that makes you, be at your best? engage in it. Engage in it. You can journal. Exercise is very important. A lot of us, take exercise for granted, and it is very, very important because it allows oxygen, to go through our body. That allows us to be able to release those feel-good hormones. So exercising, feeding well, having fantastic relationship with the people around us, living free of unforgiveness is very, very important. Ensure that you are free of unforgiveness. You live in forgiveness. When people hurt you, you let them go. Not that you're just putting it under the carpet, but you're dealing with it. So when people hurt you, feel your feelings. Don't do, I shouldn't, it's not nice for me to show that I'm hurt. If you're hurt, let the person who has hurt you know that he or she has hurt you, but let it go. Don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it. Very, very important. So I'd like to say something, even as we're talking about this owning your happiness. A lot of us, we find it difficult to own our happiness while we're single before we get into, any dating relationship because of some things that has happened to us. Because maybe we've made mistakes in the past, we've done things that we are not proud of, we've said things that we are not happy we have said, whatever it is. I just want to take us through a process. We call it the mirror work. And I just want you to, I want to take you through that process so that you can begin to apply that to your life and begin to ensure that nothing stops you from being, that happy-go-lucky, from being the best that God has created you to be. And I have it here. So for the mirror work, what I encourage people to do is to look at themselves in the mirror. So you can do it very early in the morning when you wake up before the makeup, has been applied for the women. You're just going maybe to have your shower. And what you're trying to do is to break and cut the shackles of blame, of shame, guilt, and anger. So it is very important that you do that. And you put your name, oh, Ayo, I forgive you. Ayo, I am proud of you. Ayo, I commit to you. Ayo, I approve of you. Ayo, I love you. Ayo, you are more than enough. And you can say this over and over and over and over again. If you can screen grab this, it will be nice so that you can do it even after now. Just look at yourself in the mirror and go through this. When you are able to do this, you find out that nothing will stop you from maintaining that high happiness quotient. So you can screen grab it and make use of it in the mornings. Usually I tell people to do it for 21 days. By the time you do it consistently for 21 days, you'll see the change in your life. Then another thing is affirmations. I always tell people to affirm yourself. Who are you first? How do you see yourself? When you see yourself as an amazing person, a beautiful person, someone who is love personified, whatever it is that will put you in that state of joy and gladness of heart, say it to yourself. So I have this that I usually give to my clients. I'm aware of me. I know who I am. I'm God's workmanship. I'm love personified, compassionate, gracious, generous, kind, trustworthy, friendly, and excellent. I walk in integrity, commanding influence. I'm sought after. I'm gifted and bold, prudent and responsible. I'm resilient, patient, diligent, sensitive, and humble. I am a home builder and keeper, exuding discernment, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I excel in all I do. I see good in all things at all times. I'm content and satisfied. I deeply enjoy my life and relationships, and I maintain balance in all I do. I'm beautiful or handsome and confident. I sense, I see, and seize every opportunity, making the right choices always as I pursue my purpose passionately. I walk in the fullness of God's plan. I am a trailblazer, productive and prosperous. I come up with innovative ideas and solutions and interventions that transform the world. So you can make use of this, and you can also come up with your own affirmations. I know someone was asking for the slide. Yes, I'll share it with those of us who have registered. It will be shared with us so that we can go through the slides again, because I know that if you begin to do this, you can begin to take charge of your life. That brings us to the end of the things I would like to share with us on all I need to know before I start a dating relationship. But I'd like to say something, that in the month of August, I'll be putting into a room people who want to really, really work on themselves, to be able to deal with some of these things that we have mentioned. So they want to practically work on themselves to ensure that they become better versions of themselves. And that is what we've put together as the Pre-Dating Coaching Program. It's a 2 weekends of immersive coaching, and it's coming up on Saturday, August 12th, Sunday, August 13th, Saturday, August 19th, and Sunday, August 20th. The same time as this, 7 p.m. WAT. And during this, during the Pre-Dating Coaching Program, we are going to be, you'll be taking assessments, about 8 different assessments. You'll be looking at your love language. You'll be looking at your beliefs and culture compatibility assessment. We'll be looking at your pre-dating assessment. We'll be looking at your personality discovery test. You'll be taking the self-identification test. You'll be taking the adverse childhood experiences test, and then we'll be taking the attachment style quiz. So these assessments you will be taking during the program. Then we'll be engaging in practical life conversations around getting set to date all through the sessions. So you'll be asking questions, we'll be answering your questions as well. Then we'll be identifying areas you need to work on and what your immediate action steps should be. So you will be able to note the areas you need to work on, and then the action steps you need to take as you go on before you get into, the dating relationship. So the program will help you to understand yourself better, which we call the expanded awareness. You manage expectation about yourself and others. It will transform you inside out as you examine the beliefs that are not empowering you. The program will help you to achieve this. Then it will also equip and prepare you with tools that will help in decision-making process as regards dating and life in general. So for the person that wants to know, okay, how do I really know that this is the person, I want to settle with, you will be able to get answer to this during our pre-dating coaching program. I'll be sharing with us the link to it. So for those of us who want to take advantage of it, I'll just drop in the Okay, I'll just drop in the chat now. And I'd like to say something. Someone just dropped okay. I'd like to say that we have younger people on this call as well. It's important that you focus on knowing yourself. And if you notice all through our conversation this evening, it's about knowing yourself. It's about knowing yourself. When you know yourself, you will be better equipped to know when exactly you are ready to go into a dating relationship. I tell people that I wouldn't put an age to it, you know, that maybe it's 16 or 18 or 17. No, you know yourself. You know, the way you are maturing, and you can actually say, oh, because of the things I've been exposed to this evening, because of the things, I've heard, I'm not ready for any relationship with anybody because I don't even know myself. I don't even know my tendencies. I just find myself, just coasting along. So you know that is not even what you should, get yourself involved in at this point in time. So it is very, very important that you know you, and that's the essence of this program. It's more of you knowing you. It's not, the dating coaching program, no. Neither is it the premarital coaching program, no. It is predating, so it's about you. Assessing yourself, healing from whatever trauma you might have found yourself in. Some people, because when they were growing up, maybe they were exposed to physical abuse, parents beating them, people just, pushing them and just hurting them in so many ways. They've been traumatized. Maybe people have spoken words, at them as well. They've become so traumatized. So if you find yourself in that kind of a space, then you need to, heal. And the beautiful thing is, we'll take you through a session that you can always, take yourself through, and even share with other people, because what we try to do is to hand over to you tools. We don't want you to keep coming back. No, we want to hand over to you tools that will help you to be able to stand on your own and even support other people that you may, come across. So we'll take you through a healing session as well during the weekends. Like I said, it's in August 12th, 13th, 19th, and 20th, and it's 7 p.m., like this. And we'll take you through, do your assessment. If you want us to be able to come up with the report for you, that will be at an extra charge, but we'll just walk through the reports generally and let you have an idea of what is expected of you as a result of the assessment that you have taken. So yes, the Predating Coaching Program is 2 weekends of immersive coaching, and we know that by the time you go through that with us, you will be able to say, you know what, I've equipped myself well to go into this new phase of my life. And that brings us to the end of my presentation tonight. I'll move quickly to question and answer. So if you have any question, just unmute yourself and we'll take your questions. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you have questions, please unmute yourself. I'm going to stop sharing so that I can take questions. Thank you. So the floor is open for us to take questions. Okay, so someone has asked, talking about boundaries with parents that I should clarify. So let me give an example. You have a teenager who has his or her own room, it's important that we respect, the child's privacy, the child's boundary as well. So before you get into the room, knock. Don't just barge into the room. If your daughter or your son says, oh, mom, when we have, if you need to share anything with me or you need to correct me as regards anything, I would want you to do it in private. I don't want you to just, blot it out where everybody is. You need to be able to respect that. You need to be able to respect. So between parents and children, children and parents, I always tell people that, respect is reciprocal. We respect our children respect us. And the truth is, when we respect them, we wouldn't have to beg them to respect us. I've come to realize that with my little relationship with our children. We have a 22-year-old, a 20-year-old, and an 11-year-old. I've come to realize that when I respect them, I don't have to demand. When I'm having to demand, don't you know I'm your mother? I'm your mother. They know. It's because we've lost respect. That's why we are saying, don't you know I'm your mother? When we respect them, when we respect them, then they will also respect us. Someone is asking, is it possible for someone to have all the love languages? So for someone who, let me use the word, speaks the love languages well, it shows the person is well-rounded. But I wouldn't expect, because our grading is over 30, 30, 30. I wouldn't expect you to have 30, 30, 30, 30. If you're having 30, 30, 30, it shows you are not really self-aware. But if it is high, it shows you're so much aware that you can easily speak the love language of whoever you find yourself relating with. So if you have the 5 love languages, relatively high, maybe you have a 27, you have a 26, you have a 25, you have a 24, a 23, shows that you are aware. So that means if you have someone who speaks receiving of gifts, easily you can do that. You have someone who speaks acts of service, you can easily, jump into that. Okay, I'll take that. If you have someone who loves physical touch, you can easily respond to that. If you have someone who responds to acts of service, physical touch, quality time, you can easily do that. Words of affirmation, you can easily respond. So that is what it means. That means you're so much aware of yourself, and you're so much in tune with the people in your surrounding as well. So it's possible, but I wouldn't expect you to have, like I said, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. No, I wouldn't. If you have that, it shows you're not so aware of yourself, as it were. Okay, so how does one know he or she is scared of commitment and has his or her guards up? Most of the time, okay, so how do you know you are scared of something? How do you know? There is fear. There is fear. So if you have that emotion of fear when it comes to a relationship, then that means you are scared of commitment. Then we need to troubleshoot. Why are you afraid? Why? Most of the time, we realize that people have been maybe they've gotten into a relationship before, they gave their everything to it, and the other party turned on them, and they are now scared of recommitting. So how do you know? Look for that emotion of fear. If you're afraid, then you are scared. And it's most of the time, it's not hidden. Unless you don't want to be in touch with your emotion. And that is what I found that a lot of people don't like doing. We don't like being in touch with our emotion. We have been conditioned, to put our feelings under the carpet. We have been conditioned. So you have to come out of that conditioning and feel your feeling. When you're not happy, tell yourself, Ayo, I'm not happy, but I choose not to stay in this state of unhappiness because I know it won't serve me at the end of the day. Why am I not happy? What are the things constituting my not being happy? By the time you're doing that, that means you're sitting with your emotions, and at the end of the day, you will get to the root of it and you'll be able to deal with it. Okay, so someone is asking, I hope that helps. Someone is asking, what do you say if a lady whose friends predominantly consist of the opposite sex, is it a safe space to be in? What I would want you to look at is the way we live our lives is as a result of how we have been groomed. So you need to find out this person, while growing up, who are the people in her environment? Was she an only child? Or was she a girl amongst boys? If that is how she grew up, that is how she grew up. That's her background. And it does not mean it is bad. And that was why I said that, what do we believe? What are the things that we have believed over the years? Because some people feel that if a female has male friends, it is negative. Not necessarily. If that person has always grown, lived amongst boys, that's her life. She doesn't even see it as anything that the other people are looking at. So you need to know, how did this person grow up? What was the person's background? How is, which kind of environment did she grow up in? And what is her belief, even as regards even the relationship she has? Because it does not necessarily mean that it will hurt her. We know people who have girls, girls and girls are friends, and it is not a healthy relationship for them. So what I would like to say is, if you are the guy and you're feeling you're not comfortable, you need to now troubleshoot. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling there's a challenge with what is happening with this person? Maybe it is me. Maybe I'm the one that I need to deal with some things in my own life, and not necessarily about this lady. Because she may not have anything, ulterior, as it were. But you need to be able to say, why am I feeling like this? When you've done your other checks, now ask yourself, why am I doing like this? Okay, I hope that is answered. What's your take on going cold on a potential partner when quarrel comes up? By going cold, I mean avoiding communication. Yeah, this has to do with personality. People that do this are people that we say they stonewall. So they just put up a wall and you cannot get through to them. Can't get through to them. Communication line has to be open. If you offend each other, talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Going cold, avoiding communication for some hours just for peace sake, to avoid tantrums. You don't have to grow cold for peace sake, because this going cold is another, let me use the word, it has a form of peace, but the truth is there are a lot of things going on under. There is a way you can, keep calm so that there will be peace and to avoid tantrums without going cold. So it is this going cold that we need to, watch, this going cold. You need to watch what really, really is happening when you go cold. You need to watch it. Is it just a form of, gentleness or peace? But really, there's a lot of challenge, a lot of upturning on your inside. So yeah, you need to watch that. Your going cold should not be negative. So if it is bringing out anything negative, then you need to watch it. You need to watch it. Okay, thank you so much for the questions. Do we have any other person? Maybe you want to, thank you, Faith. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Faith. Yeah, so I'll share the, what's it called? Help me. My slides with you. Those that registered, I'll share. I think someone sent me her email address. I want to believe this person. Please don't forget to register for the predating coaching program. Yeah, you can share the link also with your friends who are not here so that they can also be a part of it. It's coming up in August. We'll put the word out there so that people can be a part of it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. I hope it's been a refreshing time and you've learned a thing or two. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So glad to have you on the call. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I think we can call it an evening. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. I'll just share my favorite song by Johnny Drill. How are you, my friend?
I know sometimes it be like say nobody sent you. That's when I did for you, my friend. I did no vex for me. Say I never call you since, but I hope that you are well. I hope you're my girl. Every day I dey pray for you. Make you Baba God bless you. I never forget you. I gon' forget you. See my shoulder, make you rest upon me. You know I got you. Now me be your friend indeed. The money don't show now. I don't keep some for you. You know go so far. Cause anything I get now for me and you. Cherish you with my life. Don't worry yourself, oh. Everything go day alright. And if anybody try you, know it's gonna be on sight. See my shoulder, make you rest upon me. You know I got you. And me be your friend indeed. Money don't show now. I don't keep some for you. You know go so far. Cause anything I get now for me and you. Sometimes it feels like really send you, that's when I did for you, my friend. I know that I don't call enough, but you're always on my mind. Oh, I did for you, my friend. I know that I don't text enough, but you're always on my mind.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.